I like apples.
I also like apples, but I had French fries instead.
No.
Yeah.
Really, my apples are just literally vehicles.
Vehicles for dips, yeah.
Peanut butter especially.
I am an apple and cheese person.
Cheese?
Cheese, yeah, cheese. Hello and welcome to the Spooky Frog Horrifying Book Podcast, where we dive deep into the creepiest corners of horror fiction, especially indie titles that deserve some recognition. I'm Samantha, founder of Spooky Frog Events and a longtime horror book fanatic.
Hi, and I'm Jeffy. I'm going to be playing the role of the skeptic. For some reason, the grounded guy,
Yeah, how did that happen?
Yeah,
In a
I'm going to be the
relationship.
Scully. Like somehow I am in X-Files land. I am Scully.
We got
And
some role reversal going on.
I'm saying to be on this side of things, asking you all the pertinent questions about, well, do you really think that was a terrible
You're
evil
not in
book?
control of this one.
I know.
I'm
And
terrified of
yes.
that.
Yeah, and I'm the co-pilot.
Yes.
I mean, this is actually a wonderful experiment. Can Jeffy sit still?
Oh, absolutely not. And I don't want you to. And that's literally why you're here. So
I'm very much looking. Wow.
we should probably tell them what we're doing here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So every episode, we're going to take a new horror novel and go through it. We'll have novels, novellas, maybe some short stories going on. Everything's going to be spoiler free, but we'll take a deep dive into it and then kind of share what makes it special. And then later on, down the road, other episodes, we're going to have some author interviews. I already have some lined up for us too. So
That's really
that'll
exciting.
be really exciting. Maybe some spoiler episodes, maybe some other kind of special stuff going on, maybe some live episodes even. So, but that's what we're doing. We're just here to kind of chat about really cool horror novels and especially the indie ones that a lot of people haven't heard of before.
Yeah, and I think there's a really special book coming for the very first book.
Yes. So, and I picked this one especially for you. And poor Jeffy's getting over a cold, so bear with us. But I picked out this book, Pen Pal, for you. So Pen Pal, I'm going to stick it up there. Hopefully we can all see it. That is a book that is just immersed in nostalgia. And that's why I picked it. It's about childhood, about memory, the fallibility of memory, and how things can seem very normal when you're going through them, but then upon reflection be really super creepy. So it is a psychological horror novel, and it's definitely just this escalating sense of unease throughout the book, and it's really cool. But that's part of why I picked it for you.
Yeah, and what's wild, what I really like about this, and I mean, I've read the jacket. And you're going to be explaining all of this.
Jeffy has absolutely not read this book.
No.
He is not probably going to.
I'm not going to. I understand that it's
You love
Reddit book.
stories. Yeah.
I
so
love Reddit.
That's the other reason I picked it out for you is that this actually started out as just a one post on No Sleep on Reddit. So, and it was called Footsteps and people just went bonkers for it.
Yeah.
And so then it became a serialized set of posts on No Sleep.
Oh, and I love that.
Right. And the cool thing about it was there was such good community support and it just had this viral quality to it that it was successfully crowdfunded into a novel. So, and then the novel was funded through Kickstarter. So this was just a whole kind of like community effort. So it's very grassroots. And it just speaks to how this story really resonates with people. And I think that nostalgia element really is what does it too.
Yeah, there's so many things about this book, from what I understand, that intertwine into not only great beginnings, but peering into childhood. And I mean, we grew up together.
Yeah.
We grew up in a neighborhood that definitely had similar outlines to what is going on in this book.
Oh, yeah.
There were woods, we were able to get around in those woods.
Oh, we were feral.
Oh, yeah. Feral children going through the
feral.
woods,
Yeah.
just having a ball. And, it's a wild situation to have a book to start with that really goes through a lot of what we've already.
Yeah. And that's the fun part too. So, and that's why I think this also is just very transferable. It's very relatable. When you're reading this, there's this thought throughout the whole thing that this could be me. And another really neat element that really hits that home is we never learn the main character's name. So the main character could be any of us. It really doesn't matter, guy, girl, rich, poor. It's an unnamed narrator who's somewhat unreliable, right? Because your memory is so different in childhood. So we're actually being told this story in like a very nonlinear fashion through different points in this child's life. And it's just such this feeling of, well, this could have been me. This could have been me in the woods. This could have been me under this house. This could have been me in this creek, which we did all of that. We were in the woods.
Exactly.
We were probably under somebody's house at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely in the creek.
I mean, one of my favorite memories about being in that creek is there was a person who would build tombstones. And you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that.
Oh, you were this.
Do it.
There was a guy that built tombstones, and when a tombstone wouldn't work out, he would throw it down the back of the creek, which was basically down like a short hill.
That's what that was?
Yeah, it was right.
I don't think I ever realized that that's what, so that proves it. So that's exactly on reflection. Now I know what that is. And I just thought they were a bunch of rocks that I played in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why.
That was right. They lived behind where the old fire station used to be.
Yeah. That makes total sense now.
It's just wild.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I still don't know the actual history there. And frankly, this is one of those things I don't want to unpack.
Right. Like I'm pretty
Give
sure
me that.
You're not supposed to just be dumping gravestones in the creek. Like I'm just going to say.
Taking you.
Oh yeah. We're
going back there. Yeah. We're going to go through.
Sorry. We're going to pack up right now. We got to go do this.
Side mission.
Right. Yeah.
Side mission.
Side quest. Yeah. But that proves it, right? It's that idea that, when you're looking at things as a child, they have this innocent quality to it. And it's only later that maybe you find out, oh, well, it's because mom was drinking, like that wasn't a fun car ride with like fun circus lights. You were in the cop car, I mean, that doesn't happen in this, but there's definitely some elements where, he's reflecting back and only now realizing that,
like,
oh my gosh. Oh yeah. There's definitely moments in this book where you will actually stop and go like, oh my gosh. Like it's really, really just unsettling is how I describe this book, and just escalating versions of unsettling. So just like get a Xanax and like get yourself a cocktail and just like strap in for that ride, because it's
just get ready to unlock all the core memories.
Oh, yeah.
And just realize, oh, this is trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But on the cool side of things, like, I'm all for, I have a pretty high tolerance for, gore with a mission, I guess I would call it, or just fun gore too, like your old like VHS slashers and all that. Love all that. This really
Welcome to Frogtown.
Right. Hell comes to Frogtown.
That's right. Hail comes to Frogtown.
Yeah. That one was that Rowdy Piper? I can never say
what
that.
I love about that film
is that I can't say his name.
Yes. But also that They Live released basically in the same year.
Yeah.
And like, wow. You talk about a difference in production value. Oh my God.
I would argue though that it's similar production value. There was just a much more direct story with one of them than the other. The best fight scene ever.
I'm going to stop us there because I will talk movies with you forever.
We're just going to have a side quest podcast about the movie.
And that's exactly it.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Definitely want to do a VHS version of this, but right now we are definitely focusing on the horror books.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we can kind of go back to it. So, we've got very few main characters in this book, which also makes it, for me, it actually makes it a tighter story, right? So if you have too many characters, there's a lot of things going on. I'm all here for that kind of story as well. But this one, it's such a tight, compact story with very few characters. You have, your narrator, who again is unnamed. You have his best friend, Josh. So you've got the pal. You've got Josh's sister, who is an older sibling who comes into play for a while. And then really you've got the narrator's mother. A couple of side characters come in and out, but no one of like real significance.
Sure.
So it's like a really tight, compact version of characters, which actually makes it much more impactful when you realize what's been happening all along the way.
And you got to keep it right. You got to keep it tight.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, right and tight, righty tight, lefty loosey. Is that what we're doing?
Keep it right, keep it tight. Ignore me. This is going to be my job, just to derail you.
Tell me at every single.
So I'm going to be the stick in the spoke. I'm going to be the fly in the ointment.
Oh yeah, I've been like
all of the listeners are going to
for more than half of my life.
Yeah,
at this point, so I'm used to it. I signed up for this. Like at this point, like this is my job is just to be derailed by you
Excellent.
for the rest of my existence.
Well, I look forward to it.
Oh, good.
I am a benevolent God, but a God of mischief.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am here to make it just that more
Yeah, you're
fun.
fan at this point.
Yeah.
So
We're going to have fun. It's Loki time.
with horror.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it is a really nice compacted story that way. The setting feels pretty vaguely suburban. So again, a lot like where we grew up, where we've got a little suburban area with swaths of trees, swaths of woods, creeks, which, they think are rivers when they're kids. And of course, they're creeks. It's an area that's being developed too, which again is kind of like how we grew up, where
Sure.
we had our little village area. But then there were areas that, were fields when we were little kids that then got developed. And that is the same thing in this story too. So it was like really hitting those nostalgia points for me too. Lots of good childhood backdrops like schools, birthday parties, backyards. It actually starts off with the core story of a balloon project in kindergarten. And that is just such a core scene in this book. It's the perfect way to start that story out. So our narrator is in kindergarten. The class does a class project on, hey, we're going to put a little letter in a balloon and send some money for postage and release it, which is horrible for the environment. Don't do that. Let's not do that. But they do. And the whole point is, well, let's see how many letters we can get back. And,
Sure.
some of the students get letters back. Some of the students don't. The balloons get, lost in cornfields or something like that.
And I
they never
love that
get found.
idea of opening up. I mean, in a lot of these types of stories, you're opening up some sort of Pandora's box.
Yes. And
Right.
that is literally what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you're doing it, Evil Dead, you're reading the book.
Yep. There's that trigger
Pinhead,
point.
you're opening the box.
Yeah.
You're inviting that into your and
A seemingly benign act
exactly.
leads to absolute
Right.
horror, terror, chaos, whatever the case may be. But that's exactly what it is. Like a very benevolent, very innocent sounding
Sure.
event. Like, oh, that's so sweet. Those little kids have balloons.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes you think in these stories, like it doesn't matter how you go or where you go. I mean, this is kind of cabin in the woods, right? Like if you go into the basement, you're going to find the thing that is going to haunt you specifically.
Yes, in this one, not necessarily, because really, I don't think any of the events in the book would have happened if not for the balloon.
Sure.
But we're left with that kind of ambiguous, actually. So part of what happens is our narrator does get a letter back. Well, not a letter. He gets a picture.
Sure.
But then he keeps getting pictures, which is not great when you're a kindergartner and they're just random blurry pictures and they start coming to your house, which they were just supposed to come to the school because that's safer.
Right. So they drew a line between where this person was going to school and where they were living.
Yes, so that's the implication. So and really obviously the theme is trying to figure out right through the narrator's reflections on all of these events and some talks with his mother, as an adult, what was actually happening. Because to him, it's just, well, I kept getting these weird pictures. And
Yeah.
why is everybody upset?
Yeah.
Which totally is something that would happen as a kid. Like, why are all the adults upset? That's
What's
weird.
the age group here? What is he supposed to be? Like 7, 6, 5?
When we start, that's the fun part, right? So
There's
love,
no details like that.
well, we know he's in kindergarten at the start and we know certain other ages as it progresses. But one of my favorite genres in horror is following one character throughout their entire life. And this one does too. So it actually takes you through all of his childhood, including high school.
Okay.
And then now as an adult, he's piecing these things back together through talks with his mother that he never wanted to have, but understands that now he needs to because he's remembering things that are just really wigging him out.
Sure.
So, yeah,
So somehow it comes back into his life.
correct. Yeah. And I can't kind of give away that part without spoilers, but yeah, some things happen where now he's questioning not just one thing, but everything. And every single reveal you get is deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole.
And I guess this is a good time to talk about format because
Yeah.
ultimately we are going to have 2 podcasts in one. We are going to have the talking about the book, not doing any spoilers, 0 spoilers, just talking about what it consists of, what it feels like, any content warning or anything like that, all of those kind of things. And, what the takeaway is, and Sam, more than likely, what you had thought of the book and what I think, well, maybe I'll read that. I won't read that.
Read it. No,
I won't read that.
And that's the fun part too, is that, we're going to have the opportunity to explore so many different types of horror. And even the first few episodes that I have kind of set up for us, or the first few books that I have set up, they each hit a different point. They're also completely different. And it's hard for me to even kind of rate them on a scale, because they're also different from each other. Like, the genre differences are so deep. And that's what's really cool about indie horror in particular, is you can do all those experimental things.
Right.
Like, you can do a book based off of a Reddit post. You can do a book that's based on, demonology. You can have something that's like a riff on your classic slashers and like a parody of them. You can do all these fun, like, experimental things and really kind of genre bend to a degree that you can't really do in a lot of mainstream media.
Right. And I mean, I'll tell you, that is exactly one of the reasons that I wanted to pitch this podcast to you in the first place and have this thing start and build out, because you've built such an amazing relationship with all of these different artists that are out there, all these authors that are out there, and building this really fantastic group under the Spooky Frog banner, and giving these indie authors a place to really have a great meeting point in Milwaukee, and really get the introductions to the people.
Yeah. And that's been really fun and really rewarding too. And it's been shocking how receptive the audience has been. I love my authors. They're amazing. I think their work is good. And, I love promoting them. But what really blew my mind was just the audience was just, they didn't even know that they were missing this. Like, they were so excited for it, and they continue to be excited for it. Knock on table, like, please still come to the events. But I think that's true of, even the Goth Barge events, is that there was such a need for this type of thing, and people didn't even really know that they needed it until it just popped into existence.
Right.
So, and if it wasn't for Goth Barge, there wouldn't be Spooky Frogs. So,
well,
now we're stuck with each other.
I suppose
the world is stuck with us too.
And I suppose we should
Yeah, we should explain what the heck a Goth Barge is.
What is a Goth Barge? So, me and Sam, we've known each other forever, but some of the things that we work on, one of them is called Goth Barge. And when we're laughing about me being the straight man, or the huckleberry, as it were, it's because my other title is also the dance commander of the Goth Barge, which is a mouthful of marbles and absolutely ridiculous. And it's basically, we DJ on boats. So we do goth dance parties on boats.
We put goths on boats.
We put goths on boats. And we take them out of their habitats where they're very nice and cozy in their little caves. And then we bring them out and we put them in the sunlight into the boats.
Maybe not so much sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evening. Yeah. Evening boats.
Evening boats. You got to stay on brand a little bit there.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for, in one way or another for the last 7 years. And
I mean, we've been saying 7 years for a couple of years now. So I think it's longer.
Is it 8 years now?
It's at least.
Maybe it's 8 years.
I think we
should be 8 years.
We don't math. I don't math.
Yeah, we're not going to math.
No.
It's fine. Somewhere in there.
We've been doing it for a while.
For a minute.
Yeah.
And that project is now expanding into New Orleans.
Yes.
It's expanding into Cleveland. It's out there in Madison. We're expanding all over the place.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for you. Yeah, we're all over the east side right now, looking at the west, seeing what we can do there. And it's been a very fun experiment, and we're looking to do something very similar with Spooky Frog, and just expanding out that and reaching a great audience, and really helping introduce a lot of these indie authors to people who might be interested in that work.
Yeah. And there is a huge audience for that, actually. Like, the indie horror community is one of, what I consider a larger community. And I don't know what that translates to, if it's as big or bigger than indie film or what have you, but the indie horror community is huge. And I started off joining a Facebook group actually called Books of Horror. And that's where I got really like immersed in this whole world. There's other people doing events like I do, different formats. I tend to mix different vendors and artists and things in with mine. Some are just author specific. There's even a charity event called Scares That Care every year, and that's an author con as well. So indie horror is actually really popular, which is funny because it's not quote unquote mainstream. Like it's not the Stephen Kings, it's not the Dean Kuntzes, and there's nothing wrong with those things. Definitely not. I love a Stephen King just like anybody else. So I spent a lot of time watching some very questionable documentaries about The Shining the other day. So no, Stanley Kubrick did not film the moon landing, and no, The Shining was not his admission to doing so. So just so we can clear that part up right now.
And you've already lost all the tinfoil hats.
Oh, darn. Oh, no. No. We'll have an alien episode. We'll get them all back.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, we're already referencing the X-Files, so we're set for it.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with aliens. So, but no, the indie horror community is huge, and they're everywhere. And I just don't think enough things are available to them and enough platforms for the authors to really show off what they can do.
So why is it Spooky Frog?
I have a lot of pet frogs.
I'm aware. So this is going to be a little bit of our format.
Yes.
I'm going to be maybe asking questions that a toddler would be asking.
I'm going to awkwardly answer them.
That's right. And a little bit of that is going to be for the audience.
Yes.
This is going to be for you. So even if I have a question that I think, well, that might be kind of obvious, I still might ask it just to make sure that the audience is along with us.
The audience might not know.
I know about the many, many frogs.
Yes.
I know about the little cuties.
Yeah. I have 8 frogs right now. So yeah. I'm hoping to have 10 in a little while. So we'll see.
Spooky. Because
I'm spooky. I've always been spooky. We've always been spooky.
We've been spooky.
Yeah, literally. I don't know a time in either of our lives that horror or goth or some kind of like dark occult, something wasn't a part of our existence.
Right.
Like, I literally can't remember a time when it hasn't been.
We met in the early years of high school.
Yeah.
And at that time, and this is a time where bullies and jocks and things like that still existed.
Oh, yeah.
So there was times that people would come up to me and go, "You have a vampire cult."
Yes.
And I would think to myself, what would you give? What would you give to have a vampire cult?
Yeah.
Like
that would be cool.
Like these are all gorgeous vampire ladies that I am surrounded by.
Right. And now, like the joke
is my life.
Like everyone wants a goth girlfriend.
Yeah.
But, like nobody wanted a goth girlfriend back then. Like this is when, there was a lot of hostility towards us back then. Especially because we grew up in high school when Columbine happened, and that was a really awkward time to be alternative in any way, shape, or form. I remember getting questioned in class quite a bit, and that was like, okay, well, that's interesting.
Well, I remember showing up in a trench coat.
Yeah, me too.
Not ideal.
Yeah, well, I had mine. I had like my Matrix, like Trinity from the Matrix kind of thing going on, and then they banned trench coats.
Yeah.
And then the joke was on them because I didn't listen. And then one of my friends in class had narcolepsy and she passed out, and they needed somebody with a jacket on to go get the ambulance. And I was the only.
So,
yeah, that's malicious compliance there.
That's right. And
at some point, we should probably talk about this book.
Maybe we should get back to the book.
We will in future episodes when you don't need to get to know us as well. We'll be a little bit more linear about this, but no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take you through some different novels. We're going to take you through whatever randomly comes out of our faces.
The thing that I'm looking forward to the most is, Sam has always been a beacon of light in my life. And the thing that I am most looking forward to is watching her beam about something she absolutely loves. And usually it's a lot of Jeffy, like, look at the shiny I found. Yeah. Like that's a lot of our friendship is look at this. Look at this weird thing.
The core of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm constantly with the precious showing you, right? It's wonderful to be on the other side of that foot and just watch you say, look at this thing.
Watch me nerd out.
That I absolutely love. And That is what I am most looking forward to out of this entire experience.
It's going to be super fun. And I mean, books have been just such a huge part of my life. I mean, I'm an only child. And so like books were a big thing in my life because there weren't other people around. Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't have many friends. And I still don't. Like I have more friends now. I'm fairly social now, but I'm definitely an introvert and spend a lot of time by myself. I really relish my alone time. What are you doing here? Get out. But books have always been with me. And I remember going to the library, which was also my first job, and literally just filling up a bag of R.L. Stine and like Christopher Pike novels and just like plowing through them. And before that, like seeing how much money I had to get a Goosebumps book.
Oh, yeah.
From the
Scholastics Fair?
Oh, man.
Oh, absolutely.
The Scholastic Book Fair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, do I want this kitty poster or do I want all of these Goosebumps? All of these Goosebumps, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, books have just been such a part of my life for so long. And horror books have been the majority of that. And not that I don't read anything else. I really do. Like, I recently read A Little Life, which is like, okay, get in, let's go crying.
Yeah.
Because I like things that punch me in the gut. Love me some Tom Robbins, but the indie horror community is really what drew me to indie horror specifically. You get stories like, Pen Pal, where it's a Reddit story and it's really community driven. It's not like the community wrote the story for Dathan Auerbach, but the community is what inspired him to keep going. They crowdfunded it. It was definitely grassroots. You've got a whole lot of other author stories too. We're going to cover a Milwaukee author named Nick Boddick. We're going to cover him later on. He's got another book that started off on Reddit. He had one of the most viral posts on No Sleep ever, actually. So we're going to get into really cool things. And that's just what's been inspiring to me about the indie horror community as a whole.
Yeah. And this book specifically came out of No Sleep?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And weren't there a bunch of different properties that came out of No Sleep?
So Daughter's Drawings, which is Nick Boddick's, and Nick is a Milwaukee resident.
Okay.
He's a Spooky Frog alum as well. So he also had his Daughter's Drawings started off on No Sleep as well.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's been others that I just don't know off the top of my head, but these are kind of like your most well-known ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's super cool that, and again, that's what indie horror does. So.
Yeah. And to have two different outlets come together and make this thing an actual reality. You've got your Reddit, which, building chapter after chapter through crowdsourced feedback and support. And then to take that off of there and go to Kickstarter.
Yeah.
To get it actually funded.
Yeah.
And backed.
Well, and that's a lot. I mean, you need to have something really special in a story to actually get that far with it too. So that's what's cool. Like, it's not like just anybody can just go and do that. You have to have a really good story because also as supportive as the community is, it will also eat you alive.
For sure. And back in the day when this was actually being created, I imagine that this author didn't really have a different outlet to get this out.
Right.
And when you're on Reddit, that's a real subset of people. Like there's only certain people that can even get into Reddit. And then back then, even more so.
Yeah.
I mean, Reddit's becoming a lot more commonplace now, but back then, I mean, you're almost thinking like this is like some sort of like weird offbeat 4chan kind of situation. And
without it being 4chan.
Right.
Yeah.
With that said.
Right.
With that said, it's not at all the same thing. And I get the difference.
For the audience who might want to explore Reddit, it's not 4chan. You'll be okay.
Yeah. Reddit is fine.
Yeah.
Good people there.
Yeah.
But the point is, there's a barrier to entry. I mean, this is like Discord,
Right.
like
Yeah.
there's like if somebody was trying to build a book on Discord and then it was trying to reach a mass audience, there's absolutely no way that that's going to happen because there's not enough people that know how to get onto the Discord.
Yeah, it's a bit
or
niche.
Reach the Discord server or what is this thing? I have to click this link, but it says it's not active. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with Reddit where there's a barrier to entry to even find what a subreddit is.
Well, and then the specific one to find what you're looking for.
Exactly.
It's like you and me trying to, navigate that Discord. And I just feel so ancient whenever I'm trying to navigate that. Like, hey, fellow kids.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, you bring up such a good point is that, you really do have to have something special. And this isn't something that would have really come about if not for the Reddit community. So.
So this is told out of order.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it bounces back and forth. And that's kind of neat too, where you'd think that, like, reflecting back, you get pinpoints of memories, right? There's things that stick out to you. Even during our conversation here, there's things like, in the creek or in the woods, they're popping out at you and they're not always in perfect order. And so that's how we're being shown it as well.
Now, I don't know if you know, but is this the way that it was actually released on Reddit? Or did they go back and kind of do this kind of Tarantino style, like we're bringing you forward, we're bringing you back style?
Yeah. So yes and no. So there was obviously editing that was done before it actually was, released as a full novel. But each segment was pretty much in the order that you see it in the book. It started off with the first chapter, which is Footsteps, and that was the first story on Reddit. There have been some changes and some edits and shuffling around. But some of that was honestly part of the Reddit as well. So Reddit actually gave feedback on, hey, maybe this should go here, maybe that should go there. So, but yeah, for the most part, this is how it was designed to be, is that kind of back and forth narrative between an adult and then their memories as a child.
So this is more relying on just memory, creep factor, real life stuff. No demons, no big ghosts,
Right.
giant hordes of evil zombies.
Right. And that's actually what makes it more unsettling. So there's not a focal point to the danger for most of the book. It's more atmospheric. And that to me actually like really creeps me out. Like there's so many times in the book where I was just super creeped out. There's one scene where our narrator and his best friend are in his old house. And they're going back there to find something in particular. And we've got our narrator who's under the house. And then we've got the friend in the house. They've both got walkie-talkies. And there's something there with them. And they find, yeah. And it's like, that's really creepy, right? But you don't have all the gore. There's not necessarily like, a specific monster or anything. It's the reality of it that makes it really frightening.
From your description, it sounds like he's keeping it vague enough where it can kind of be supplanted into your own childhood memories.
Exactly that.
And to anyone who kind of grew up in suburban America, and, like maybe that's why we're finding it so easy to transplant into our own childhood, is because that's what it's intended to do.
Yeah.
Is to just kind of creep into your memories and go, maybe everything wasn't as nice. And I mean, this is kind of this is like a dairy thing without a giant evil clown.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, there's a scene where it's so sweet, right? The narrator and his best friend Josh are making a map of their woods because they're little kids and that's what little kids do. And it's super sweet. And they build themselves a raft to go down the creek, which they think is a river. And, it's just this very sweet, nostalgic event that you and I have done something similar, and most people have. We're just exploring our woods as little kids. And then you realize that, oh, well, that thing I saw wasn't really benign. It was actually really disturbing. There's a scene with a drive-in movie where we're like, okay, cool. We're going to the drive-in. Like we're seeing some horror movies at the drive-in. Like this is super cool. And then things also go horribly wrong. So
sure. I'm absolutely loving this.
Yeah, this one is one that's really stuck with me. And I really wanted us to do this one first, just because I thought the nostalgia element and the Reddit factor would really just hit home for you. And there's some great lines in this book too that are really, really creepy. And some of the lines aren't just creepy, they kind of just hit you in the gut too.
Sure.
Which is really cool. Like my favorite line from the book in its entirety is, sometimes forgetting is the gift that we give ourselves.
Sure.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that hits you right in the face.
Yeah, absolutely. Where, that makes you question, hey, is he better off not really knowing? Were we all better off not knowing?
So I know we talked about a few of the main characters and you listed some of those off.
Yeah.
But like, can you give us a synopsis of what you can expect, who you expect to meet in this?
Yeah. So Josh is definitely, one of our, probably the most important character in the book besides our narrator. And I would even argue that he's almost more important than our narrator in a lot of ways.
Is this the child adult?
Our narrator is the child adult. Josh is his childhood friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So little Josh is his childhood
And
friend.
the narrator is just
We have no idea. We never get a name for our narrator. He's absolutely never named in the book,
okay.
which is
So this is like finding a journal of someone who's never written down their own name.
kind of, yeah, in a way. And then his mother, our narrator's mother, is probably the other most main character, but it's interesting because our perception of her while you're reading this book is so divorced from what reality is because you're seeing it through the lens of a child. Whereas we see Josh very much the way that Josh is because Josh is also a child and we're kind of growing up with him along with the narrator. Whereas our narrator's mother is an adult. And just like all adults, when you're a child, you don't really have the same perception of them or what's going on. So there's times where we see the mother act in a certain way and we as the audience don't really understand it, or we think we understand it. And then only to find out later that, oh, that's what that meant. Like, why did they have to suddenly pick up and move? And we find this out later in the book, but in our narrator's mind, it's, oh, yeah, I guess we just had to move.
Sure.
There was better schools over there.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then really the only other main character is Josh's older sister, Veronica. And she comes up really later in the book, not until kind of we're getting towards the end there, but she becomes an important player as well, at least for a little while. But yeah, very few characters in the book, which also makes it really unique. Like the author doesn't need a ton of background noise in order to tell this story.
Sure. So unlike Deary,
Yeah.
if we're going to continue on that,
Right. I think that's a good analogy.
sure. But if we're going to continue on that, Deary, I mean, the town itself is its own character. Do we find that here, or is it more of every town America?
It's a little bit of both, actually. So it is every town America because I think the author's intent is to make us think that it is, it could be us. But the town also has a lot to do with this story because what is happening in the town, the fact that it's being developed, the fact that it's in a state of transition from kind of a more analog childhood to then a more digital adulthood. So we're getting into like cell phones that can take pictures later on in the book. So if that gives you an idea of like what year we might be in, we don't find out the exact years, just the kind of era that we're in.
Sure.
That all is what allows this story to happen. Because if the story was in any other time frame or in any other town with this specific setup, it may not have happened. And that's another like really unsettling part of it is that one small decision, that one small change in your life, and none of this would have happened.
Sure. So familiar, nostalgic childhood backdrops, schools, woods, birthday parties, etc., backyard, barbecues, yada, yada, yada. And then there's just big reveal after big reveal, or
Yeah,
is it just, does it slowly sweep you in?
it's like this push and pull. It's like waves. So you're going to get where it's like this slow build of dread and then a reveal and then it pulls back a bit. And there is actually a YouTube reading of this out there. I would say read the book first, listen to the YouTube later. Like, please buy the book, support the author, and read it first because I think it's better as a book first. But if you ever listen to it, you do get this sense of like all this tension, and then something really tense happens.
So it's horror edging.
Ease it.
We're doing some horse edging here.
Oh my gosh, it is. But it really,
You're on setting 3 on the rabbit.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
that's what's happening here.
Yep. And then like you
Okay.
back off and then yeah, it's definitely a
Well, there goes our safe for kids.
Great. Yeah. Because a horror podcast was ever going to be
Yeah,
for the kiddos.
that's right. If you have your kids listening to this and you want to send us an email, don't.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't.
Yeah, just don't. Because I mean, if you do, we're not going to read it
Yeah,
anyways.
you should write it.
Yeah,
Hit
right.
forward it,
Yeah.
right? And then just click the delete button.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No, we actually welcome every one of your emails at
Especially hate mail.
Yeah, especially hate mail. As a matter of fact, I'll put that vibrator right back to 3.
Actually, we're gonna read your hate mail because I actually think that's a great idea. If we get hate mail, I hope we don't. But if we get hate mail, I'm going to personally read those because I feel people should have to own their mistakes.
Every once in a while, we get a crack religious
Oh yeah,
or
those are-
some sort of right-wing conspiracy
Yeah.
net on the goth barge side.
Right.
And they'll say something like, "Oh, I hope your evil boat burns, and
Right, and I'm like,
sets on
that's-
fire out in the water," or something like
this is
that.
in a
Just like,
public place. Like you're like,
Okay.
And I get spicier about that than I think you do, but
for me, it's hilarious.
it is really funny.
Like that's
It's like-
great.
Like who is literally trolling the internet, seeing things that they don't like and would never do, And he
Well-
decides, let's burn it.
Well, like Jesus said,
Burn
burn down the boats of the goth kids doing DJ boats. That's what he said. So I clearly read that
Right,
chapter,
But yes, send us your emails. Actually, what we would love. So I have a ton of books, right? So they're kind of all over the place here. And for people that are not actually watching us and they're listening, I just gestured wildly to a bunch of books on the shelf here. But there's always more that I haven't seen. There's always more that I don't have. If you want us to cover a book that you really like,
Yeah.
recommend it. If you're an author and I don't already know you and I don't already have your book and you want me to talk about it, send it to me. Can't guarantee that every single one will get on here. We're only humans and we only have so much time in every day. But definitely send it in. It's spookyfrogpodcast@gmail.com. Hate mail goes right into the bin. No, I am going to read it. I'm going to read it.
Oh, I'm going to put it on the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's almost, and I hate to say this because I like, here, the way that I like to say it is, it's like a video game. And if every video game is now open world, right? And the only way to determine that you're actually moving forward in the game is when you're running into enemies. Like if you're,
I had no idea. 'Cause,
I know you're not a video game person, and there may well be segments that we
we're gonna
do
have to, because that
horror video games.
Yeah, that horror video game that you showed me is terrifying.
Yeah. Sam got a little taste.
I can take it in books and in movies, but apparently video games, I just crawl out of my own skin.
Yeah. Sam got a little taste of a horror game.
It was so good.
Yeah. It was
I never want
the
to see it
cabin.
again. It was amazing.
Yeah. It was the cabin game.
Yeah. What is that called again? It was
Cabin inspection.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what the name of it is off the top of my head, but it was very good.
I wanted to crawl out of my own skin. It was really fantastic.
Yeah. And she's losing her mind, and I'm loving every minute of it. So there's definitely going to be some of that, because I am definitely a cool customer when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
My dad has been showing me these kind of things. My dad was definitely like, "Hey, Jeffy, you want to see a movie about a candy man?
Oh my God.
Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah, he just likes candy. Why don't we go get extra candy from the shop?" So, hey, how about Child's Play? It's about a doll. You'll love this movie. It's about a doll. And here's this demonic doll trying to kill me, and I'm having nightmares.
The 80s and 90s were wonderful for children.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, speaking of things maybe that we don't want to expose to children, should we do some of the content warnings?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, I know there's controversy over content warnings. I'm a proponent of, if you don't like content warnings, don't read them. Some people just have things that they don't prefer to consume, and, that's totally fine. So I always err on the side of giving some content warnings just so people know what they're getting into. For Pen Pal, it's pretty mild. Again, this isn't like a slasher gore fest or anything like that. It's not splatterpunk, which will do some of that. But this one, stalking and obsession, child endangerment, obviously they're children, they're in danger.
Sure.
It's a horror book that you're going to find that. There is animal death, but it is not described. So if you like your critters, this one is really easy because it's not described at all. But if you'd prefer to skip it, it's actually really easy to skip. It's literally a page. And then obviously psychological trauma. So,
Sure.
But that's, for a horror book, as unsettling as this book is, there's not a whole lot of content warnings, just because it uses so much of that atmospheric quality to get the point across, which I think is just really cool.
Sure.
Neato.
Well, yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. And I'm very much so looking forward to the different books that we have coming.
Oh, yeah. So the next episode that we're going to do, unless we change our minds, is going to be Cadaverous by Jay Bauer. And Jay Bauer is actually a Spooky Frog alumni. So he was at my very first book fair. And the copy of Cadaverous that I have is a signed copy. So it's really cool. That one's just going to be a fun romp. That one I chose because it is about music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and that's your
jam.
area.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe not the specific genre, but so each of these books I actually picked for a specific reason for you.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I'm
making Jeffy feel special.
I'm sure once we get to a certain point, I won't be able to specifically relate them to you because I want to, go into a lot of different styles and
Oh,
everything.
absolutely.
But yeah, I've got some good stuff for you. I've got some music. I've got some good old like haunted house, and I've got some schlock.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, you're gonna
I
love
love the schlock.
Oh yeah.
Man, being the small part of the Spooky Frog family, just making the music and the vibes in the background has been very rewarding, and meeting these authors has been absolutely fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to helping all of those artists get a little bit of a platform for their pieces, for the little piece of life that they're bringing out. What a fantastic opportunity to really highlight some really talented local people.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, some of these people travel from all over the Midwest,
Right.
hoping to have some more that travel from outside the Midwest too, but yeah, and it's just and having you do the music for that really it just makes for such a fun party vibe too, versus, when you think of a book fair, you think of either your Scholastic book fair or you think of, a stuffy, library type thing. And
Sure.
this is totally like a party vibe. Like we hang out, we have food,
Oh, there's drinks flowing.
Oh yeah, there's drinks everywhere. We've got cool artists. I had that aerialist performing the one time where she was
Oh, for
spinning
sure.
in the air and stuff. So
And some of the great venues you've been able to work with. I mean,
yeah,
shout out to X-Ray Arcade.
I love X-Ray.
They gave you the very first.
They took a chance on me for some weirdo book fair thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. Like, yeah, they've been amazing. I cannot say enough good things about X-Ray Arcade. They've been just so good to not only Spooky Frog, but the Goth Barge family too.
Absolutely. I mean, the only reason that Goth Barge does any landlocked events at all is because the pandemic came on
Yeah.
when when X-Ray Arcade opened, and X-Ray Arcade reached out and said, "Hey man, is there any way you just do a patio dance party?"
Yeah, outside.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember
Absolutely.
that too. People were so desperate for something like that to
Well,
happen
they had just
again.
opened their doors.
Right. Yeah.
It was months after they had opened their doors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an astounding yes for me. I mean, I grew up with some of the owners,
Right. Yeah.
and so being able to help them and
And they've got an amazing
support them
inclusive
is
venue too.
fantastic.
Like they really do it right.
Yeah.
They've got a great staff there. They treat people well.
Excellent
They-
staff.
Yeah, and they manage the space well too. It's a great inclusive space. So
Exactly.
it's one of those places where, as a woman, I feel like I could go in there at any time and not have to worry about anything.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
And that is at the core of this. Some of the things that are very important to us is inclusivity.
Yeah.
Making sure that people have a safe place to express themselves, and being able to find community, and especially in this day and age when things are very topsy-turvy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of scary for a lot of people right now, and making some places where people don't have to worry just for a couple of hours is super important, I think, to both of us for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, kids. So we went over what we're going to do next week. Definitely reach out to us, Spooky Frog podcast at gmail.com. One of these days, I will say that correctly. We are going to be doing a different book each episode. And then we'll probably branch off into some weird off-topic discussions. We'll do some VHS, maybe some video games, not talk about dishwashers too often.
Yeah. We have a running gag in
Jeffy doesn't believe in dishwashers.
these are not
We
this
could
is
be
not a
here all
real
night.
thing.
We're going to continue this argument off air. Before we go, if you are interested in Pen Pal, if you liked it, but you want to find some more books that kind of have that same vibe, we're now in the dirt. Daughter's Drawings by Nick Boddick. That's going to be my go-to. It's another Reddit story, and it's another one where it deals with a lot of atmosphere. So that is where you can go if you think Pen Pal is awesome. Jeffy's going to play with lights for a while. All right, that's all we have for this episode. See you next time.
Bye.